Hello and welcome to Post Perspective TV. I'm Dana McCallum, and today we are remotely celebrating IBC season and happy to have our guest join us today, Dave Frederick from NetApp. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Dana. How are you doing?
Good, thanks. So happy to see you, even though it's unfortunately remotely once again.
Yeah, that's the way things are these days. It's okay.
We
We carry on.
Exactly, and what would we have done without it? So we're
That's right.
lucky. We're lucky to have it. So wanted to dive in today, and if we were together at IBC, we would be talking about what NetApp is working on, what they're looking towards, what they're developing. So wanted to start. I know you have a new cloud offering, and I believe you're going to use the phrase hybrid cloud. So I'll ask already if you could explain to people what NetApp means when they talk about that.
Yes, we do have a new offering in the cloud. It's in conjunction with AWS, and it's a file system service that allows customers to spin up volumes of storage based on file systems that their applications and their developers can use directly without having to convert to S3 and without having to make those transitions. And a lot of companies are trying to transition their applications to S3. Well, this can be a quick and easy way to get their applications into the cloud as exactly as the way they run today. And that's sold and serviced by AWS. So that's an actual Amazon Web Services product. Sold through them. That's called Amazon FSX. So the three letters FSX. So that's been a great hit, and people are really latching on to the idea of being able to use a file system in the cloud that can also link to and become part of a larger global namespace that includes either other Amazon regions or systems on premises that customers already have or are anticipating buying. So, we talk a lot about hybrid cloud, and really, our vision of hybrid cloud is not just linking on the ground systems to a cloud service provider and pushing data up and having it stored as objects and processed that way. It's that the cloud becomes part of the global namespace in which you're working. So if users and artists are looking for files, or they want to utilize files that are sitting in the cloud, they don't have to do anything special to get to them. They can just start to access them, and then they come down from the cloud in a very efficient manner, only the stuff that they need, so that they don't have to download large quantities of data in order to find what they're looking for. So in terms of hybrid cloud, that's what that means. One of the things that people should realize is that NetApp develops products in the cloud for the cloud first. And as we develop those capabilities, whether they're data movement capabilities or data security, or any of the other types of data management activities that someone may want to engage in, they're all available in the cloud at the same level of service as they are in our on-premises systems. And so this creates a really great synergy between cloud and ground, and can make utilization of public clouds much easier.
And certainly we would be remiss if we didn't talk about remote workflows at this point in all of our lifetimes and careers. Is there anything in particular that NetApp is focusing on right now in support of remote workflows?
Well, actually, we have a number of tools that work in a way that allows data to be cached temporarily. And frankly, in the media production workflows and pipelines, it's very common where someone would want to have access to a file, be able to view it and create some kind of metadata or edit list or other type of modification to that file, the file itself doesn't change. They just need to be able to access it quickly and reliably. So we can create caches of data that work exactly like a local file system. And then, and that could be, again, in the cloud or on the ground. And they can access that. And then as that data cools off, it simply leaves their cache because they're not using it anymore. And the authoritative copy, the original copy of that data, still exists back at whatever the master location was for that file. This also allows remote offices in different countries, let's say. Let's say you've got a London studio and an LA studio. Those can both be caching data in opposite directions as content is developed. So the stuff that's happening in London that London wants LA to utilize or needs to utilize can be cached in Los Angeles and used as much as they want. And in the meantime, the stuff that's going on in LA is also being cached in London so that they can have access to it. This is also really good for things like ad agencies and other types of organizations that share a lot of branding content, or other types, and animation studios where they're working on the same character sets or the same backgrounds and those types of things. It's really exciting. The other thing that happens is that because of the way we work in the cloud using file systems, it makes it very easy for us to link into remote desktop infrastructure. So whether you're using a simple VDI connection, or whether you're working with a third-party remote desktop solution that might include higher-end graphics, those are both available to run in the cloud and present that image of the desktop keyboard and mouse down to the user that needs access to it. So that can be supported on a global basis.
And I think today we've talked about the approach of the hybrid cloud, something for people to wrap their minds around, and the public cloud. What are your thoughts on the private cloud and the import of being able to support that as well?
Yeah, there are customers who would rather have equipment in their facility or in a co-location facility for data protections reasons, or in a number of areas of the globe to be able to move data around efficiently. And that's exactly what our storage grid object storage product is for. And along with that, that object storage grid also works in conjunction with the file system to be able to do automatic tiering of cold data. And it can move it to storage grid, and storage grid will hold that until it's asked for. And what I mean by asked for is somebody just touched a file that had been tiered off to storage grid. It's already a file in storage grid, and we just warm those bits up, only the ones that are needed, and hand those to the user that requested them. So it becomes an automatic tiering capability that doesn't require any administration or management whatsoever. You just kind of set the threshold of how quickly do you want your bits to cool off, and then when they would get warmed up, give them back to me as soon as I can. And when you combine that with the ability to globally co-locate nodes of a storage grid around the world and have constant replication of data and available to everyone who's in those various regions, now you have a network of systems that allows access for everyone, and it becomes extremely reliable at that point, because you have many different locations where erasure coding and other types of data protection services are being used. And we hear about 5 nines and 6 nines. Storage grids gets up to 16 nines. of reliability. So it's an extremely reliable and it's a fast object storage system. And a lot of our customers find it to be quite useful, even just to sometimes just to offload projects or to create um, multi-tenant areas for different departments within their company. We have some companies that are using a portion of their storage grid for production and a portion for finance and HR administration. And they're completely separate and they operate at the same time. So yeah, we're very, very big on private object storage, private cloud. And private cloud is, of course, it is a component of hybrid cloud strategy, because we can also take that data from storage grid and move it and burst into the public cloud if we need additional storage or additional compute capabilities.
Very smart. We're all looking at hybrid everything these days.
Right.
So this is right on point to how people are working today.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you think that folks need to know about what you're up to at NetApp?
I think for the time being, that's a good kind of snapshot on a high level. We always have, there's essentially three pillars of our product line. There's the storage grid, as I said, which is our object storage. We have ONTAP, which is the NAS file systems storage, and we also have E-Series, which is a SAN that's utilized for high-end, really high-end, uncompressed 4K, 8K, and beyond production. And those can all be brought together to work together and move data around in what we would refer to as a data fabric.
Oh, see, if I couldn't conclude NetApp without getting the phrase data fabric in there. So that was right. That was good, right at the end. Right.
There we go.
Well, Dave, thank you so much for joining us today. And I hope the next time I see you, we're together. But until then, we'll just keep rolling like this. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for watching. That's saying goodbye for Post Perspective TV.